In case you missed it, reports say Melly's legal team has requested to postpone his trial until 2026, citing concerns over his mental and physical health. By then, Melly will have spent more than 7 years behind bars in conditions described as worse than death row, all without a conviction. Many forget that Melly has already been locked up for 7 years, awaiting trial. Renowned attorney Bradford Cohen, who handled the case early on, remarked, "When I had this case 7 years ago, I said it needed to go to trial within the first 6 months. The state wasn't ready. The investigation was a mess, and witnesses were unreliable. Speed was the key to winning. Instead, Melly chose a different legal path, which ultimately led to these delays." Recently, the judge announced the staggering number of days Melly has now spent behind bars.
Let me repeat myself. Mr. Devins has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's the Broward Sheriff's Office. But I can, as I said, I'm asking for, and then I'm asking for at least a day or two.
And you will decide by tomorrow. But also preserve all of tomorrow.
The judge himself was stunned to realize it's been over 2,000 days without a verdict in Melly's case. He pressed the prosecutors, demanding a valid reason why Melly shouldn't be released, warning that if they couldn't justify it, he'd grant him bond. This moment sparked a response from Melly's mother, who spoke out publicly about the bond attempt and the emotional toll it's taken on their family.
Just still so praying. I know. I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically, the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it can come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Tessa, I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
Melly's lawyers have now submitted a new bond package, drawing significant media attention. His legal team proposed an undisclosed bond amount to be covered by his record label, 300 Entertainment. If granted release, they promised the judge that Melly would remain on house arrest, wear an ankle monitor, and employ 24-hour private security to monitor him closely. The bond proposal seemed so convincing that one rapper even posted that, "Boy, Melly is coming home. I feel." Melly's team also planned to present evidence gathered by his mother, highlighting the inhumane conditions he's faced while in jail.
You saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life. As a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules, and I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
Melly's lawyers also highlighted GPS evidence showing that, as the crime was unfolding, Melly was actually fleeing the scene and hiding in a bush to escape the alleged drive-by.
It's hard to say someone just shut my car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, "There's a car coming behind him, and I'm hiding." He was like, "There's some, there's some, I think they're still out here or something." So I'm like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm okay." I said, "Well, where are Zach and Juby?" And he said, "I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're..."
To further support Melly's claims of innocence, his lawyers pointed out that the firearm used in the crime was never recovered. They argued that whoever committed the drive-by likely fled the scene with the weapon, leaving no trace behind.
The first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this observation because I don't know what to use.
Okay.
But prosecutors worked to strengthen their case against Melly. They revealed new evidence, announcing that Melly was secretly recorded confessing to the murders of Sack Chaser and Juvie just 5 hours after the killings. Surveillance footage allegedly shows Melly and Bortland celebrating together in a parking lot.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! The dog still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
The footage suggests that neither Melly nor Bortlen appeared shaken by the deaths of their close friends. Alongside this, prosecutors have paired surveillance video showing Melly and the YNW crew getting into a car. In the clip, Melly is seen leaving the studio and taking a seat in the back left side of the Jeep, positioning himself, prosecutors allege, in preparation for the attack on Sackhazer and Juvie.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes? All right.
But prosecutors kept reshaping their case, preparing new evidence to present to the judge. They're now reportedly working on deals with Bortlen and Melly's ex-girlfriend, hoping to persuade them to testify against Melly. Melly's ex was originally set to take the stand during his first trial, but instead, she fled the country and remained in hiding overseas for the past 3 years. When she finally returned to the U.S., authorities arrested her immediately.
Can you state your name before we go into the hearing?
I'm Leon Chris.
And are you related to one of the
Yes, I am.
house?
Mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Tony.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat? If you can identify specifically.
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
The judge required Mariah to sign an agreement for her release, mandating that she'll testify at Melly's upcoming trial. On Facebook, she posted, "Thank you to my village. I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine." Mariah is expected to testify about alleged witness tampering by Melly. Investigators reportedly uncovered troubling evidence while searching her iCloud account. The stakes are high. Witness tampering alone carries a potential life sentence, so even if Melly is acquitted of the murders of Sackhazer and Juvie, he could still spend the rest of his life in prison if found guilty of tampering.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Because of the witness tampering allegations, Melly has been banned from using the jail phones for an entire year to prevent any further interference with the case. The communication restrictions have deeply upset Melly's mother, who voiced her frustration in a recent interview.
Filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
However, it's ultimately what Bortlen might do that could seal Melly's fate. Prosecutors are working to convince Bortlen to flip and testify against Melly, especially since Melly tried to shift the blame onto Bortlen during the first trial. If Bortlen cooperates, his testimony could be the key to sentencing Melly to life in prison.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
It's now being revealed that Bortlen has allegedly been the one feeding false information to federal agents. He's the one who had gunpowder residue on his hands and was present with Juvie and Sackhazer at the time of their deaths. Investigators have even testified further about the firearm residue found on Bortlen, adding another layer to the case.
Were his lives. Corporal Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car, 2 bodies, car, riddled with bullets. When he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having the phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in the pocket.
not Portland Henry.
Bortland was furious about all this. After Melly's mistrial, he tweeted, "Mind games don't work on people like me," adding a handshake emoji that hinted he might be open to striking a deal. Prosecutors now plan to try Bortland and Melly together in the retrial, believing it will increase the pressure on Bortland to testify against Melly and strengthen their case.
So the right hand of Portland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of pot residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of pot residue and 1 two-component particle.
And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was pot residue present on the hands.
Because if Bortland is staring down murder charges for a crime he insists he didn't commit, he's unlikely to accept a life sentence without a fight, adding to the pressure. Prosecutors plan to use footage from Bortland's interrogation on the night of the murders as evidence in the case.